Natasha. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing ThemeVille Math Grade 3. Now, my third grade daughter has been using this for quite a few weeks. We started it over this summer, and we are continuing to use it for her third grade year, and I absolutely love it. Let me tell you a little bit about it. So basically, every day there is a pre-lesson worksheet front and back, and then a lesson worksheet front and back. So it is quite a bit of math problems each day. The pre-lesson is things that they've already been accustomed to. So at the beginning, it's stuff they would have already learned in second grade. And as you go farther along, it's concepts that they've already been introduced to in the third grade book. So the pre-lesson is really stuff that they should be able to do on their own. There's no teaching involved in that pre-lesson. It is basically practicing things they have already learned. At the top of the pre-lesson page, there are usually things like skip counting in different ways, flashcard work, things like that to get their brains moving and to practice those skills. Now, the regular lesson page is where there will be teaching involved, where they will learn the new concepts. There are videos to go along with the lessons. However, my daughter hasn't needed them yet, so we haven't used them, but they are available. It is written in a way in which you don't have to watch the videos, but they are available if you should want them or need them. Now, basically what my daughter does is she works the pre-lesson page on her own. If she gets stuck, then she will mark it and I will walk her through that. But typically she's able to do the pre-lesson on her own. And then I will sit with her during the regular lesson and I will go over any concept that may be there and if she has any questions, and then I will let her attempt it herself. Then we'll review it. If she marks any that she doesn't know, I simply have her star it to show me she doesn't know or she's stuck on one, and then we go back and review those things that she got stuck on. But she is a pretty math-minded kid, and so this program has worked really well for her. So I wanted to flip this camera around and show you a little bit of the inside of ThemeVille Math Grade 3 so you can see what it looks like and how it's set up. Okay, here's ThemeVille Math 3. This is the solutions book. And this is the work text. Now it is hole punch, so if you wanted to take the pages out and put them in a binder, you could totally do that. We've just left it in here. So this is the table of contents. There are 120 lessons and 10 tests. You'll see that we start with multiplication and division, the 4 operations, addition with regrouping, subtraction. We talk about clock reading and money and skip counting and time, temperature, long division, all of those things. After the first 30 lessons is your first test. Then we get into word problems, more time, and then after the next 10 lessons, we have a test. So after those first 30 lessons, when we have the first test, those are basically kind of like reviewing everything. Then we start having a test every 10 lessons. This says to the teacher, forward, backward counting 0 to 100. So the child will count forward and backward 0 to 100. Asked to write by skip counting by 5 from 5 to 100. Asked to write numbers forwards from 37 to 43 in the steps of 1. And asked to write by skip counting by 10 from 4 to 94. A lot of this stuff up here will be oral. There are some things, as you can see, that they're actually going to write. And so for this work, we just use a whiteboard. All right, then we get into the pre-lesson. These are things that the student really should already know. They are just practicing. So here they're writing numerals. They're deciding addition or subtraction. Oh, looks like we accidentally skipped one there. We have some counting change, and we have some basic word problems. So this is right at the beginning in lesson 3. So you can kind of get an idea how this kind of starts. Then we go to addition with regrouping. And you can see it says perform the following addition in 2 steps. Step 1, add ones only, regroup if possible. And step 2, add tens. Now if you can see, I'm going to zoom in. There are these little lines that you can hardly see, but they are there. And they are there to keep the students organized. They're even there when they do their own work. So that is actually extremely helpful. My daughter has found that very useful to have those lines there that kind of guide her. There's also these little boxes and things too. So it's like that through the book when they need those like guiding lines or anything like that. They're very, very light, but they are there if needed. And then they had a page where they're working by themselves where they're doing this addition. Okay, so that is lesson 3. Now we'll jump to Let's jump to lesson 10. So here we have pre-lesson 10. Again, to the teacher, warm-up flashcards practice for division, where a quotient is 5 or less, and the divisor is one of the following: 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then forward and backward counting to 0 to 1,000. Asked to write numbers from 796 to 803 in the steps of 1. Asked to write by skip counting by 100 from 2 to 902. And asked to write by skip counting by 5 from 5 to 100. Okay, so then they will do all of this work. Again, this is things that they should already know how to do. And then here we have some word problems, and then we get into the lesson, which in this case is on place value. Okay, so you'll notice that in here, they're really working on mental math. So 649 plus 1, 789 plus 1, 309 plus 1, and so forth. And then they're plus 10, then minus 1, minus 10, minus 10, okay? Okay, then over here, they're now adding plus 100, plus 2, plus 20, plus 200. And so we talked about how we can decide, you know, what we use place value to figure this out. This is the ones place, so then we look at the ones place. Everything else is going to stay the same, 4, 5, and then 2 plus 2 is 4. So we can do that really quickly in our head. Here we see this is in the tens place, so we look at the tens place over here, and we know that that's what needs to change. So we keep the 4 the same, 5 plus 2 is 7, and then we have 2 plus 0, which is just 2. And so they can work this in their head, these mental math strategies, and then they're adding 200, and then 3, 30, and 300, and 4, 40, and 400. This was extremely helpful to my daughter. It actually kind of was revolutionary for her to really kind of see that she doesn't actually have to write this all out, that she can work this in her head. By really grasping place value, she can really do addition very quickly. So I would say that there is an emphasis on mental math in this program, and there's an emphasis on strategies to help you do math more quickly. Now let's just jump to the first test. Here we have the first test. So of course you would not want to help during the test, but as you can see here, it's very light, but you can see we've got the lines and we have the multiplication sign and the equal sign. Whenever those are needed, we have those lines. The word problem. So on a test day, that's all they would do. So if you have 120 lessons plus 10 tests, that would make 130 lessons total. I absolutely love that fact because I don't like to do things that have 180 lessons because I like more flexibility. We are actually doing math only 4 days a week because of that. So now let's move. We're going to jump to kind of the middle. Let's jump to around lesson 60. So here we have the pre-lesson 60. Again, we have all the information, the warm-up up here, and then we have the work that they're going to do. They're going to skip count forward, but they're skip counting time here. Of course, they're practicing with money. They're comparing and rounding. They do lots of that. And then word problems. It kind of basically always follows that format where the pre-lessons have the word problems on the back. Now here's our lesson 60. Again, you can see things that are very light when needed, and they can trace over those. And then we have lots of work here where 5 minutes before 6 a.m. is, 10 minutes before 2 p.m. is, 30 minutes before 6 a.m. is, 7:30 is blank minutes before 8 p.m. This is really the kind of thing I was talking about where it's really that mental math that they're doing, where they can really grasp these concepts. I love that about this. Okay, and then we'll kind of go more towards the back. Let's go to lesson 104. Again, we have the warm-up here, the work here where they're rounding and comparing and all of that, and the word problems on the back. And now here in this lesson, we're doing area with tiles. You can see what lesson 120 and the test looks like. So here we're converting a conversion of weeks to days. 1 week equals 7 days. And then so they're doing division here. 84 days are equal to how many weeks and days? So they're working on long division here. And so they're doing a lot of that. They're also skip counting. All right, and then test 10. So these are kind of like all the concepts that will be mastered by the end of the 3rd grade book. So again, here's that mental math that they're doing, okay? And then we've got write numerals and compare and round. What time will it be? 30 minutes after 3:50 p.m. And then if a rectangular cake has a size of 6 units times 8 units, what is the area and the perimeter? The train was supposed to leave at 1:40 p.m., but it was 3 hours and 10 minutes late. When did the train leave? I feel like every math book has a train problem. Like, it's standard. You need one of those. And then there's some more word problems here. So this definitely, like I said, has a focus on that mental math and strategies to help make math quicker and easier, but really understanding the concepts behind the math that they're doing. This is not an easy math program, but I think it really gets the kids critically thinking, and I really admire that about this program. Okay, so then we have the appendix, and then we have our grade sheet here. So if you want to keep track of their test grades, and then we have the grade percentage and total points here if you wanted to or needed to keep grades for some reason. And then it has the manipulatives that are suggested. Kids, bank, play money set, ribbon roll, geared clock, centimeter cubes, place value discs, 1 foot ruler, place value strips, unit rulers, and area overlays. But there's unit rulers and area overlays included here that you can copy. The other things, like a ruler, you probably have, ribbon, and play money, those are things you probably already have. If you don't already have them, you can buy a manipulative kit. So here's the unit rulers. You can cut these out, and then we have the area overlays for multiplication of fractions and decimals, that you can cut those out as well. So that is what this looks like. Now let's take a look at the solutions manual. So the solutions manual is exactly what it says. It is the solutions. So it's just a book of solutions for you. That's all that is. Okay, so make sure to go check out ThemeVille Math. I will put their link in the description, and they have grades 1 through 5 available. Now make sure to take a look at the placement test, because I do think that ThemeVille Math does tend to run a little bit advanced. I will say that I do think it is kind of advanced, so I would definitely recommend taking the placement test before you purchase the level that you think you want. Make sure to also go check out the Homeschool Review Crew blog, because lots of moms and kids have been reviewing ThemeVille Math, so you can get a wide array of opinions on how it worked in different families. So I'll put that link in the description box below as well. So thank you so much to ThemeVille Math and to the Homeschool Review Crew, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.